I think anyone who's frequently stayed up past 1 a.m. would know what I mean when I say that the world feels like a much different place after a certain point. But not just feels, it genuinely is. Like, for context, my sleep schedule was always really late at night, so I'd have to wake up for school every morning sleep-deprived as hell and skipping my breakfast as a result. But then I transferred to online schooling, and instead of dealing with everybody, I was dealing with practically nobody. And this is where I really started to stay up late a lot in my life. In fact, I like to stay up during these hours just to recharge my mental headspace and batteries, just because my social skills were pretty underdeveloped as a kid, and just due to the way I have to live right now, I get overwhelmed by a fair bit of day-to-day stuff, and my anxiety spikes up when I have to deal with certain people and situations. But after midnight, well, you can throw all that out the window. The fact that it's just me and all the world is quiet, it just really helps me get more in tune with myself and, ironically enough, the world. It's just so soothing and tranquil, and it's another reason why I am called G-Soul Knight, because I like the night, as you could probably tell. And in terms of comfy alone time, well, aside from liminal space pictures, this is basically the only time or place or whatever you call this that's ever made me feel this way. But another reason I stay up late is just so I can see some of the things I really wouldn't otherwise. Like, sure, if you go to Rated at 3 a.m. in a vampire costume in the middle of summer for no particular reason other than to pick up shaving cream, then sure, you might get asked for weed along the way. I'm definitely not the person in the vampire costume. But besides that, you also don't really realize just how many cats are in your neighborhood until you've gone to sleep. It's mainly just strays and ferals, but even still, the amount of them I used to see really surprised me. The fact that they just walk along the sidewalks like little people of the night. I like that. But beyond strays and ferals, there's one cat in particular I will just never forget. Okay, imagine it's 3 a.m. and you're just chilling on the couch, enjoying the peace and quiet of the night. And then you hear what sounds like a meow outside of your window. Okay, nothing too notable. But then you hear it again and again. Yup, it's a cat, alright. And it's right outside my front door. My front door! Fuck it, let's open it. Are you hungry? Guess not. Well, I guess I'm finally a cat owner again. I don't know if the cat was male or female or even intersex, but I named her Dorothea, because as you might have heard from my Switch audio, I was playing quite a lot of Fire Emblem 3 Houses at the time, and this cat happened to remind me of Dorothea. But like I also mentioned, I am a cat mom again. Now, this part is a little bit emotional for me, but I used to take care of 2 cats along with my ever so lovely aunt. We rescued them from a snowstorm one 2013, and while I only got to see them every Saturday just because I lived with my parents instead, every time I got to visit it was a wonderful day each time. I always wanted a cat, and so the fact that I got to rescue one and give it a new life instead of having it freeze to death in the cold was not only one of the parts I took the most pride in, but just having them around too gave me so much life in my day-to-day. And it was honestly some of the best days of my childhood. But as you can probably tell, some things in life just change. Sometimes you have to say goodbye to the people you love, and I had to do that. And as a result, well, I couldn't really keep the cats anymore. They went to other members of the family at least, but I never really got to see them after that. I think it was because I was still having a lot of trouble in life at the time. But ever since that's cleared up, I always felt a little, well actually not a little, pretty guilty over the fact that I never got to visit them just because I sometimes think what they thought with the fact that both of their owners just disappeared and they had to live with somebody else so suddenly. And the fact that I was still out there and could have visited them at any time. So the fact that this precious little baby just comes up to my door, me of all people at this specific time when it's just me, and practically asks me to just let them in and take care of them, even if I don't know why they did it. Well, I think I'm only starting now to realize just how nice that was. I may have only gotten to stay with this cat for an hour, but it was like revisiting some of the best days during my childhood. God damn it. I got to show them around the apartment, keep them company, and just be a cat mom again. But eventually had to just lead them outside again. Our apartment doesn't allow cats, and my parents don't even like them. Another reason why I don't like them. But even still, I'm sure Dorothy is still out there somewhere. She was probably somebody else's cat, and really, first and foremost, I just hope she's doing alright and living her best cat life, really. And if I ever saw her again, it would make my heart melt in joy. So yeah, I have quite a few reasons to stay up late. I know staying up past 3 a.m. can give some people existential crises, and yeah, I've had a few of those past 3 a.m., but besides that, I just like the night. And if you feel like you wouldn't be too distressed or shaken up finding the meaning in your existence in the darkness of 3 a.m., and you haven't tried this, then I say, just go for it. Especially if you can craft it into your schedule. I imagine a lot of your daily lives, just like mine sort of right now, are pretty frequently overwhelming. So I am personally an advocate that sometimes you need a little bit of silence just to help uplift your mental health and well-being. And if you do, then in the name of the moon, enjoy your night. So yeah, I recently realized that if this was a magical girl anime, then when Dorothea visited me, this would actually probably be the episode I get anointed to become like a magical girl senshi thing and try to fight for love and justice in the world. But anyways, this was, well, a lot of fun. It actually made me really happy to make this in the meantime. I wonder if you could tell that during the recording too. I'm just a lot more comfortable and more like myself on camera. Like seriously, this was probably the most fun video I've made in a no, this is the most fun video. What am I talking about? Also just cause with the way YouTube, the platform, and the style of content that's being made is shifting, it looks like we're finally, and thankfully in my opinion, moving away from the more overproduced, over-sensationalized, over-stimulating beastification style content, for lack of better descriptors, and moving back towards something more grassrootsy and humble, human, and such. And I hope despite my channel size, I was able to give you a nice little addition to the storytime scene, even if I feel that scene's probably been less affected by the overproduced stuff. And on the topic of my channel, thank you all so much for actually giving it a chance. It motivated me to try and make something as good as this, and, well, I think I'd like to give you all a nickname finally. Collectively, you are the Soul Army, and individually, you are Recruits. This is actually a reference to the biggest inspiration I had in YouTube, though it's not to honor them. It's more just so I can get back to, what I liked about YouTube and the parts of it I feel like we've been missing in the past years. But I feel like I've rambled on enough. Just thank you all for enjoying my stuff. I'm Soul, and I will see you later, Recruits.